Yo, what's up guys? I just got done watching the Grizzlies beat the Chicago Bulls. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about that game, talking about Billy Donovan and Arturas possibly making a trade, and just talking about the trade deadline. Also talking about some trade rumors later in today's video and giving some big injury updates. But before I jump into today's video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also leave a quick like below today's video. It takes a second and helps me out a lot. And leave some comments and questions below today's video, obviously about last night's loss to the Grizzlies, about all the rumors that have came out, and what you guys want the Bulls to do at the deadline. But nonetheless, let's just jump into a quick little game recap of yesterday's tough loss versus the Grizzlies. You know, that game was really ugly for the most part. The Chicago Bulls were up 5 to 10 points here and there. You know, they got the lead, lost the lead, just typical Bulls games all season long. And then they just lost it in the fourth quarter and the Grizzlies ran away with it. The Bulls did have a season low in points and field goal percentage at about 37%. And this is now the fourth time that the Chicago Bulls have failed to post their first 4-game winning streak this season. Vucevic played really well, 28 points and 17 rebounds. Zach LaVine really struggled from the free throw line, but he still did have 24 points. In my eyes, this was a very ugly game that the Chicago Bulls should have won in my eyes. The Bulls did get outscored by the Grizzlies 32 to 14 in the fourth, and the Chicago Bulls are now 26 and 28, and they will be heading into the deadline 2 games under 500 in the 9th spot, 3 games out of the 6th seed, and 1.5 games out of the 10th seed, the 11th seed, and the 12th seed. There's been rumors about the Bulls potentially doing everything at this trade deadline, but the recent rumor that just came out yesterday from Casey Johnson, and he did report, and I talked about it in my last video, definitely check out that video if you guys missed it, that he does expect the Chicago Bulls to be quiet, that a lot of GMs and front offices around the league are just expecting the Bulls to stand pat and do nothing, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, maybe we'll be surprised. I guess we'll see tomorrow, but in my eyes, this is essentially the third straight major transaction cycle if the Bulls do stand pat that they've done really nothing to this main core. It's time to make some decisions on this roster. Either you need to make a big trade, go all in and try and win now, or maybe blow it up, which I don't see happening. But as of right now, the expectations around the league are that the Bulls are expected to stand pat, and that does bother me in my eyes. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video about yesterday's very ugly loss to the Grizzlies, and also about the Bulls expecting to stand pat at the trade deadline. Now, this article did come out just the other day from NBCSportsChicago.com, and Bulls insider Casey Johnson did write this article, and Billy Donovan was talking about the trade deadline, and him and Arturas have talked a little bit. Billy Donovan did say Arturas hasn't really given him anything specific. I know we're 5 or 6 days away from the deadline. This article did come out about a week ago, but I still thought it was very important and had a lot of news in it. Billy Donovan did continue, and he did say, but like he always tells me, when something really comes up at the last second that he wants to fill me in on, he'll fill me in on. He's on the phone, and I think there's all kinds of calls and conversations going on with all these teams right now. But as of right now, there's really nothing that he's really talked to me where he said, hey, listen, we're close on this or close on that. But he is communicating, and essentially he is doing his job. Like I did say, I don't expect the Bulls to make any moves, and if anything, maybe a minor move, which I'm not really happy with. I think we've seen it for the past 2 years now. This core is just not it. They need change in my eyes. I don't know what the trade would be or what the move would be. That's way above my pay grade, but this team just needs change in my eyes. And after that, Billy Donovan did continue, and he said Arturas will look all the way back through last year's All-Star break when looking at this team and thinking about possible changes. And Arturas and Billy Donovan did say they believe they've improved based on how much they've played better against high-level teams, but they will consider the schedule, who was available, and just the Bulls approach the games. All of this being said, it's clear that the Bulls front office is looking at a much larger sample of data than just a good stretch here and there, which in my eyes, I think that's obvious. You can't stand pat, especially just yesterday's game versus the Grizzlies. I mean, they were missing Steven Adams. I know we were missing Demar, but that's a game you got to win, especially on a 3-game win streak. I just believe big change or big moves need to happen, and I don't believe that is going to happen. And like he did say, he's going to look at this team from last year's All-Star break, and the Bulls are 33 and 42 since last year's All-Star break, and including postseason games, they're 34 and 46, almost a season-long roster that has largely been unchanged. I think it's clear we've all seen enough, and we need changes and trades to happen. And the next topic in today's video is about some trade rumors surrounding the Chicago Bulls. This tweet did come out the other day from Daniel Greenberg, and he did report saying that the Bulls are showing interest in trading for Pelicans center Willie Herman Gomez. And in my eyes, this just doesn't make sense. I'm going to keep it short and simple. This move doesn't make us any better or any worse. Why would we give assets up for a backup center at best when the Chicago Bulls have one of the best rebounders in NBA history on their bench in Andre Drummond, and Billy Donovan barely plays him? I just don't get it. I see no point in making that trade when we have Andre Drummond on this roster already. And then after that, some more rumors did come out, and the rumors were that the Bulls are actively shopping Andre Drummond. And like I just did say, I don't understand that at all. It makes no sense to me. And the Bulls are also showing trade interest for Mike Conley, Bones Highland, and Terry Rozier. Let me just say, I really like Bones Highland. I would do that trade in a heartbeat. He's really young, and I would love to see him on this Bulls team. I just highly doubt the Nuggets give him up. Also, talking about Mike Conley and Terry Rozier, I really do like both them as point guard upgrades for this team, but also I just don't see that happening. Both these players are making $20+ million per season, so trading for one of them, you're going to have to either trade Lonzo or Vuce, and I just don't see that happening. Honestly, I hate to say this, but it truly does seem like the Bulls are going to stand pat at this upcoming trade deadline. And the final topic in today's video is some injury updates on Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Javonte Green. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan did sit out yesterday versus the Grizzlies. His right hip was bothering him, so that's something to watch. Also, same with Alex Caruso. He was a game-time decision, and he did end up playing, but he has been dealing with a foot sprain, so that's also something to keep an eye on. But the bigger injury update is about Javonte Green, and Javonte Green is reportedly not even close to returning to the court as the Bulls do near the All-Star break. Green underwent surgery on January 11th after struggling for nearly about 2 months with some lingering issues from a bone bruise in his right knee. And just the other day, Billy Donovan gave a little update on Javonte Green, and he did report saying that Javonte Green hasn't had any setbacks, but that is interesting. I feel like he should be back soon. And after that, Billy Donovan did say he hasn't even started running right now. He's biking. They really haven't done anything dramatically with him. You know, just lateral, straight ahead running, any type of stuff. He continues to progress. Obviously, the All-Star break is coming up, and that'll be another important update and period for him. So that's definitely not great to see. I mean, Billy Donovan did say, you know, there's no kind of build-up. It's just going slow. He is progressing. He hasn't had any setbacks. He is doing something, some mobility stuff in the weight room. I haven't heard of any setbacks. In my eyes, it does sound like a setback, but I'm not sure. You know, Billy Donovan gave this quick little injury update. All I know is I hope Javonte Green can return sometime this season because the Bulls are definitely missing his defense and just how active he is on the court, and I believe he is the Bulls' best cutter. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like a setback in my eyes. Hopefully, he's back around the All-Star break or at least afterwards. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.